Hey, hello again. Well, I'm out here on the White River. This is the Federation Forest State Park area, right along Highway 410. Beautiful place. I've painted here a couple times before. I've painted this view, but without the snow, so I'm excited to try it again with the snow. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous day. We've had a string of rain and snow and wind, and we finally got a little break so I could get out and do some plein air painting. The very nice thing about this spot is I can be in the sun, I think, while the sun is out. Short days. This is winter solstice actually, so I don't have a lot of time. The sun's very low on the horizon. As you can see, it's not gonna get any higher than that really. It's just gonna skirt that way to the west. So I'll get set up, I'll play with the composition just a little bit, but I'm pretty confident I know what I want to paint. The river going away toward that snow-covered hill in the distance with the clouds partly obscuring it. So I'm going to try to really keep the scene simple, just big blocks of color. I've got my USB heated gloves here. I've had these for about a year and they work great. I'll put the link to them in my materials list below. They have a high, medium, and low setting. Even on the coldest days, they're keeping my hands nice and warm. The really nice thing is that they're very thin, but they have wire that runs along the fingers so that your fingers stay warm. That's the part of me that really gets cold when I'm out painting, are my fingers. So if you don't mind painting with gloves, I can even put my plastic or my rubber painting gloves on over these since they're so thin, and keep them from getting all crudted up with oil. Chemical heat warmers work as well. I did a video last year on painting in cold weather, painting in the snow. If you want to check that out, I give about 10 tips on how to go out in the snow and paint. Got my normal colors set out here. Ivory black, cold gray, titanium white, cerulean blue, ultramarine blue, sap green, burnt umber, burnt sienna, alizarin crimson, cad red, cad yellow, gambling radiant lemon, yellow ochre. Got turpentine. I'll start with a turpentine sketch and a turpentine wash. I've got a few videos on turpentine wash, on why I do it and how I do it if you're curious. Got a little Neil McGill in this cup. I'll use that to fix the viscosity of the paint. I like the paint to be about like room temperature butter, so not too runny but also not sticky. After I get done with the turpentine wash, I'll put the turpentine away and get the Gamsol out. Now, earlier the sun was hitting some snow-covered peaks up here, so I want to put those in, even though I don't see them right now. They're covered in cloud. And I'll have the hill come down to this 1/3, this upper 1/3 line. And I will probably have some cloud coming in and obscuring that a little bit. The river I want down on this lower 1/3 line. So this is kind of eye level right here, just above the 1/3 line, and the river is just coming in below my eye line. I'll put this interesting bend in the river right here by this intersection of vertical and horizontal 1/3 lines. bank of snow-covered rock here. And then off the panel somewhere down here. And I'll have just a few snow-covered rocks down in the foreground. I want those snow-covered rocks to be bigger and then smaller to give the impression of linear perspective. I want them to be going away from us. Have the sunlit bank of the river here and here, and then few beautiful stately pine trees. I'll start with this small bristle brush and do the sketch in alizarin crimson. I just want to place the big shapes, and then I'll move into the turpentine wash. Now there's a little island of rock right out in the river, in the middle of the river. I don't think I need that. I think I can just make this all beautiful green river with a few snow-covered rocks in it. I may exaggerate the shape of this far bank a little bit, cut into the river some. There's a beautiful band of soil riverbank in the shadow over here that gives a nice line into the scene. I can also throw in a tree stump or a fallen log or two under the snow if I want, giving lines into the scene. There's a glowing red scrubby bush right about here as well, where the sun is hitting those bare branches. Some bushes or small trees, I'm not sure what they are, but they're glowing. They always pick up this gorgeous reddish tone. The bark of those scrubby bushes or trees glow. And the line of these distant pine trees fall down, fall away, following the river. There's a line of, right now there's a line of sunlit, leafless, deciduous trees here that are gorgeous. And then some very dark pines behind this glowing reddish bush. I think I want to cut in here a little bit and make the river exit down here, give myself more river to paint. Okay, that's it for the sketch, and I'll do the turpentine wash. Use this big old beat up bristle brush for the wash. And go with a touch of a ultramarine blue and alizarin for the sky. And I'll just erase away some clouds. Here I'm going to throw just a little bit of cad yellow in to hint at the snow-covered trees. bit of burnt umber. As it comes forward. I'm not worried about erasing the lines I put in earlier as long as I stay with the big shapes, and I can still see the lines kind of hinted at in the wash. Throw a little burnt sienna in the river to capture the glowing, warm, sandy bed of the river. I think that'll be interesting to paint over that with the green. Burnt umber as well for this line of shadow. Go with that same mixture, maybe add just a touch of ultramarine to the burnt umber for these pines. Throwing some more cad yellow for the foreground snow. I'll paint over that, but it'll give it a nice warm glow. High value. Okay, now I'm just playing with the abstract shapes, the big shapes. I've set up my panel and my easel here so that the drips are falling back onto my lower palette here, not onto the snow. And now I can just add and take away paint until I come up with a combination of shapes that I think tells the story, looks like the scene, and is interesting to me. Towel and just wipe away some of the lightest lights. I can re-wet it with turpentine if I need to get it to remove the paint. The turpentine wash in. So I've got real big rough shapes, the snow, background trees, the background mountain, the cloud shape. So now I'll start to mix up the full colors of the scene. Alright, I got some colors mixed up. I tried to minimize the number of piles of color, just matching the big shapes. Got the blue of the sky and the gray of the clouds. That may be a little bit too blue. I may have to warm that up just a touch with some alizarin crimson. Most of these colors are mixed from ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, cerulean blue, a touch of gambling radiant lemon, and then I've added just a touch of the other colors that I have out on my palette where I need to, and of course titanium white. Got the shadow of the foreground trees, the light of the foreground trees, kind of a cooler, bluer green and a more orange green. These are the distant pines, the shadow and the sun. This is the river water, the green, blue, and red. This is also kind of a shadow under the logs and under the rocks, under the snow. Here's that bright, leafless deciduous brush, orange, the very orange tips, and the lighter color branches and trunks. And we've got some shades of very high value color for the snow, more blue, more pink, and more yellow. This is the lightest value. This is where the snow is tipped up and catching direct sunlight. Alright, I'll start with the background and just work forward. I'll use as big a brush as I can to carry the scene. I'm going to go a little bit by memory and a little bit by what I'm seeing in front of me. I really liked the light that I had when I first got here, when the sun was hitting the snow on those trees on the distant hill. Really bright out here, especially with the sun on the snow, so I've got my amber sunglasses on. So it may, with the sunglasses being amber, it's probably going to bring out more red in the scene, which is okay. I'll bump up the blue, and I'll take my glasses off once in a while just to look into the shadows to pick up any interesting blues and lavenders that the sunglasses might be blocking. But I'd rather not be staring at the sunlit snow for the next hour or so. My pupils will close down and it'll be painful. It'll be harder to get the scene done. The clouds moving across the sky behind me, really changing the lighting on the scene. It's really beautiful. It's tempting to chase some of these lighting scenarios that I'm seeing, some of the dramatic clouds, sun on the clouds, some on the snow. I'm just trying to stay with that initial scene that drew me to this and finish the painting. Later in this video I can change this up if I want to, if I don't feel it works, or I can paint a new one based on some of the footage and some of my memories that I'm getting here. What a gorgeous place. It is freezing though. I have my heavy coat on, but I'm not wearing quite enough layers. I'm still cold. So I'm going to power through this, get as much of this done as I can without getting too detailed, and then pack up and head out. As always, thanks for joining me. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below, let me know if you have any questions or any recommendations for places to go and paint. As always, feel free to use images from my video for your own paintings. All I ask is that if you post your painting, please tag me so I can see it. Well, here's where it ended up. Beautiful day out here on the river. This cold weather, it's below freezing out here. It really killed my batteries, so I wasn't able to film the last part of the painting. I'll take it back to the studio and clean it up a little bit. Throw it out on my website. I may do a few finishing touches in the studio. I may show that on my Patreon page. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. If you'd like to support the channel, please visit my website. I sell these little plein air pieces at a reasonable price because I consider them practice. It really makes me happy when someone likes my art enough that they want to hang it in their home. You can also sign up for my newsletter and stay up to date on my new work and shows and get a discount on original art and prints.